This is the Elite 2.0 Echo, and this is my review. In this package you get the included blaster itself, barrel attachment, 10-round magazine, and a stock, plus the instructions and 20 standard Elite darts with both inverted colors. Blaster overview: you have the detachable front barrel, which is standard, basically the retaliator front barrel. It has four rails to attach whatever attachments you would want to put onto this blaster. 2 on each side and 1 on the top and bottom of the blaster. That just goes on like this. For the main blaster itself, you have a top prime mechanism, which then releases the included 10-round magazine. Now, the 10-round magazine is a bit special because what they're doing is kind of like the Doomland series, where they have the extra bits of plastic on the magazine right here. It's meant to add a bit of detail to the magazines without any paint or plastic. These do come off if you just give me a second. If you just pull it off, it comes right off, so you might be able to put these onto other and strike magazines you might have laying around. Probably not, as if you can see on this part, it's flat with the groove to fit this on, just like that. And there you go. This is a 10-round magazine. Now the Elite Retaliator comes with a 12-round magazine. This one decided to go down 2 darts, but that is the magazine. To release the magazine, you get to pull a slide back and press this tab on the front. Personally, I think that it's okay, as my hands are small, as I'm not an adult, so I have more than enough room to not be accidentally hitting it. It does take a really light load to drop it. Just press and drop. There will be people with larger hands who are probably going to be running around trying to reload, accidentally dropping their magazines. I am sure of it. So, to prime the blaster, you pull it back and you bring it back forward, then you press the trigger to fire. Now, one little thing to say about the top slide up here is that there's a small clicking action that you have to push back just a little bit harder. You can kind of hear it when you pull back like this. So it might, if you don't have strong enough hands or arms, so a really small kid might have a little bit of a hard time playing with this blaster. And let's move on to the grip. I have really small hands, so the grip feels very big and clunky to me. Also, it doesn't, like the Retaliator, which I have here, has grooves where the trigger are, so your fingers can fit in these grooves. They made it so it's more comfortable. It's not only slimmer, it's a lot less chunkier, and was made to fit the user's hand a lot better than the Echo. Now, on to the stock. The stock is like any of your N-Strike stocks, except this one has a bit of discomfort. The stock isn't actually that bad, it's just short. It's very short, and they decided to make a stock where this part up here, it actually comes up higher than the blaster itself, So you really can't aim down the sights with this stock on. If they were to make another stock on another Elite 2.0 blaster that they might release in the future, then that would probably work with this blaster great. But as of now, it is higher than the rest of the blaster, so aiming down the sights, you're gonna have a hard time. Now, this stock does have a few interesting features. So we have a sling mount right up here. We have a couple. These can probably be used for sling mounts, but not your standard clip sling. If you were to say use rope, you can put your rope through these holes. And what's interesting about this stock is it has an end strike rail on the top of it, which don't know if anybody would want to use it. It'd be very uncomfortable to be aiming down your sights through there. But otherwise, some features tell what to say about this blaster. It does have a de-jamming button right here up above the trigger on the left side of the blaster. And one more thing that Hasbro and Nerf are doing with the Elite 2.0 series is that all the rails, they don't have spring clips like the Retaliator does. They're just using straight up plastic, which can be a bit problematic. It's meant for cost saving, but cost saving isn't always better. I thought the Alpha Strike line was meant to be their low budget nerfing, low budget line, so people can get nerfed a bit easier without spending too much money. Now, on the barrel, we have another sling mount right up here, and on the main blaster, we actually have none. No sling mount on the main blaster, unless you were to include this little hole right here, which would be very hard to put a sling through as it's very wide, unless you were to use thin rope, or I guess if you really wanted to use fishing line, that would hurt. So don't do that. Please don't. There's not really much else to say about this blaster, except there are a lot less screws than, again, I'm going to keep, like, say the Delta Trooper or the Retaliator. This is meant to be an upgrade to the Delta Trooper, the Retaliator, and if you're old school, the original Recon. Now, this blaster has a couple gripes for me, which I've already said. Oh, and also, I forgot to mention this, end strike barrel lugs, so you can attach any of your original end strike barrels, like the Retaliator barrel, but this one is the included barrel. And also, the end strike stock attachment point, so you can put on any of your end strike stocks. I almost forgot to mention that. Now, Nerf has been doing some things that the modding community does not like. There are a lot less screws in the main blaster and everywhere else. So people have been taking these apart, and they've been showing that they're using solvent weld and gluing the cases together. So if you really want to mod this thing, you're gonna have a hard time taking it apart and a hard time putting it back together. It seems like they don't want people modding their blasters, even though we've been doing it since the original End Strike series. Now, let's get on to the firing demo. Firing, they included Elite darts with the 10-round magazine. Firing, again, the standard Elite rounds, except in the inverted colors. Same darts, but just second firing. One thing I forgot to mention is that this blaster right here actually has slam fire. And one more thing I forgot to mention is instead of 20 darts, they give you 24. So you can actually load it more than 2 times. Sure, you can't do another full round, but you have some extra darts just in case you get into a bad situation. Same darts, nothing else different. I have blue and the inverted colors. So let's do slam fire. Let's try and do this like this. Sorry for my wobbliness. I'm just new to making reviews and still figuring things out. Well, that concludes the firing test. Overall conclusion of the blaster. I think it is actually not a bad blaster if you're a new Nerfer out there. Sure, there are many better options. For a starter, go to the Alpha Strike series so you can get cheap blasters. And go on Amazon, look up Nerf Retaliator. It's the Nerf blaster that came before this, or before the Delta Trooper, but it's a more classic blaster, easy to use, simple. But if you really want to get a Nerf 2.0 blaster, this isn't honestly that bad. One thing to note is on the left side of the blaster, there is no paint, except for on the right side where they painted the Nerf logo and the name Echo. I do not have any range tests or chronograph readings, but from other people, Coop772 has a good video on the Nerf Echo that was released not actually too long ago. So go watch his. I'm pretty sure his chronograph readings averaged at about 72 to 76 FPS, or feet per second, which is actually a bit higher than the standard Elite par, or the standard Nerf par of 70 FPS. So this is getting a bit higher FPS than blasters beforehand, but that doesn't make this any better. This priming handle is definitely small, and if you get sweaty palms, it can be hard to prime forward and back because there's no lip on the top side to catch your hand off. This is angled, so your hand's just gonna slide off then. And not even this. If you want to prime forward, your hand will still go right over this. So it's an okay blaster, a bit better readings of FPS. AmericanFoam also has a pretty good video on the 2.0 blaster, which I'm pretty sure he got his ranges at about 40 feet. I'm probably wrong. I cannot top of head. I don't have a place where I can test my range, or I do not have a chronograph or the Nerf Chrono Barrel. So I have no way to give you those readings. I'm just stating what other people have gotten and giving the information to you. Some channels to check out that probably have reviews. Go check out Coop772's channel for good Nerf reviews. You'll have more than me, as this is my first Nerf review, so I'm still learning how to make these. My quality will not be the greatest, but you want to get as many opinions as you want. This is an okay blaster, not the best, but not the worst. Go check out Lorddraconical on YouTube. He also has a good review on the Echo, AmericanFoam, and others that I'm not listing because I do not remember the channel names, or I know if they have their videos out. So Coop772, Lorddraconical, and AmericanFoam. Go check them out. So my main opinion, it's an okay blaster. I'm glad they're putting on more rails, holy tactics, all of the tactics. You can even put whatever you want up here. I don't know what you're gonna put up there, but it's an okay blaster. Elite 2.0 has been a bit disappointing, at least from the initial leaks and up till now. Do not mod this blaster. If you really want to try, have a go at it. I won't stop you. Well, this is BustRS 2005, logging out.